Well, it's Friday the 10th of May. With the sun still in Taurus, we must remember that labour is our life in action, and that this will provides us with the ability to draw the resources we need towards us. This is episode 1909 of 301 Permanently Moved Online, a personal podcast 301 seconds in length, written, recorded, and edited in 1 hour by me, at the J-Man. This episode might be, more or less, a collage of interesting snippets. I don't have a script this week, so we'll begin. Kenrick McDowell, current lead for the Artists and Machines Intelligence Program at Google Research, tweeted the following 3 tweets yesterday, on May the 9th. I read them here with permission. Schrodinger puts me in a box with a vial of cyanide. Outside, he imagines my life suspended in quantum superposition, but I know I am alive. Even muffled by this box, I recognize the timbre of his voice, his familiar accent. I continue to hold my breath. An impishness overtakes me, and I waste a few precious calories scratching at my container. Schrodinger pauses from his lecture, just for a moment, and we both know he's heard my protest. Now that is one of the best pieces of flash fiction I have ever read. I had a visceral reaction to it for a number of reasons that I won't list here, except one. When I was a kid, I don't remember how old I would have been, but it was definitely in secondary school, as I can still picture which lab in the science block I was sitting in. It was the first time that our teacher, shout out Mr. Bowman, told us about Schrodinger's cat, the thought experiment. And whilst I understood the metaphor, I thought it's an extremely poor one and still hold that to this day. Because this Mr. Schrodinger, I thought at the time, had obviously never tried to put a cat in a box before. The second thing, yesterday, 9th of May, The Independent reported the following, quote, more than a quarter of people who regularly meditate have had a particularly unpleasant psychological experience as a result, a new survey suggests. The study, published in the scientific journal PLOS ONE, involved 1,232 participants who had at least 2 months meditation experience answering an international online survey. It continues, quote, the results from the survey showed that more than 1 in 4 respondents, 25.6%, said that they had previously encountered particularly unpleasant meditation-related experiences. Meanwhile, almost a third, 30.6% of those who didn't have a religious belief had a similar negative trip compared to more than 1 in 5, 22% of those with a religious belief. The lead researcher goes on to say, quote, very little is known about why, when, and how such meditation-related difficulties can occur. More research is needed to understand the nature of these experiences. When are unpleasant experiences important elements of meditative development, and when are they merely negative effects to be avoided? He calls for more studies to be carried out to help researchers learn when, for whom, and under what circumstances these unpleasant experiences arise and the possible long-term effects. What absolute nonsense this all is. For whom and under what circumstances these unpleasant experiences may arise. What kind of research are they going to do? The other 75% of people that didn't report a negative experience just need to do more. These people are just experiencing exactly what meditation is designed to do. It surfaces old trauma and half-remembered experiences and makes you face them, process them, and then close the chapter on all the useless loops that we keep spinning in our minds. The idea that meditation is being marketed to people because it will make them feel better and happier is dangerous, not to mention the way it is being sold. Here, have the first 10 hours free or whatever, and then you have to pay for the app. Seriously, I've met drug dealers with more open and honest business practices. And don't get me started on mandatory mindfulness training mandated by an employer. This is the equivalent of giving someone a loaded gun and saying, here you go, have fun, as you push them out the door. Quote-unquote psychological problems, as people would classify them, are an expected side effect of a long-term meditative practice. And like I said last week, you can't really go to a doctor and tell them about it, as they will immediately think that you're mad. Meditation is one of the only true weapons you have available to you in the culture war. But using it just to make you feel less bad is like using a JCB to dig out window boxes. Give it a try, but I'm not sure it'll go the way that you expect. Anyway, I'm not an expert and you shouldn't listen to me. I'm probably just talking total BS and I'm way off script and I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh yeah, that scientist guy needs to stop conducting surveys and just sit on the mat by himself if he wants to know more. Unpleasant experiences in meditative development are not negative effects to be avoided. They are one and the same. Everyone should sit on the mat and try and put a cat into a box. at least once.